Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Please do have yourself a seat. Now, Mr. President, no man thinks highly than I do of the patriotism and ability of the very worthy gentleman who addressed this house. But different men often view the same issue under different lights. So I hope it won't be thought as disrespectful to those gentlemen if, entertaining as I do, of opinion very opposite to theirs, I shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. Now, this is not time for ceremony. The question before this house is one of awful moment to this country. For my own part, I consider it to be a question of either freedom or slavery. And in proportion to the question before this house ought to be the freedom of debate. For it's only through that way that we can be able to reach truth and to fulfill the great responsibility that we hold towards our country. Should I hold back my opinion at the fear of giving offense? I should consider myself guilty of an act of treason towards my own country and to be guilty of an act of disloyalty towards the majesty of heaven in whom I revere above all earthly kings. Mr. President, it's natural for man to indulge in the illusion of hope. We are apt to shut ourselves against the painful truth and listen to the song of his siren till she transforms us into beast. Is this the part of wise men engaged in a great and an arduous struggle for liberty? Are we indisposed to be among those who with eyes see not, and with ears hear not that which so much concerns about the temporal salvation? For my part, whatever anguish of spirit it might take, I'm willing to know the truth, to know the worst and provide for it. Mr. President, I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience. I know not of any other way of judging the future except by the past. And judging by the past, what has been the conduct of the British ministry for the last 10 years to justify those hopes in which gentlemen solace themselves in and the house? Is it the insidious smiles which our petition has been lately received? Trust it not, sir. It will prove us near to your feet. Suffer not yourselves to be betrayed by a kiss. Ask yourself, gentlemen, how this gracious reception of our petition comports with these warlike preparations that cover our water and darken our land. Are navies and armies necessary in the work of love and reconciliation? Have we shown ourselves so unwilling to be reconciled that force must be used to win back our love? Ask yourself, gentlemen, what means this martial array if its purpose be not to force us into submission? Has Great Britain any enemy in this quarter of the world to justify for such an accumulation of navies and armies? She has none. They are meant for us. They can be meant for no other. They are meant to bind and rivet upon us those chains which the British ministry has been so long forging. And what shall we try to oppose them? Shall we try argument? Gentlemen, sir, we've been doing that for the last 10 years. Have we anything new to offer upon the subject? Nothing. We have placed the subject in all lights it was capable. But it's been all in vain. Shall we resort to entreaty and amber supplication? What terms shall we find that have not already been exhausted? Let us not deceive ourselves, sir. These are the implements of war and subjugation, the last argument in which king resort. Gentlemen, sir, we have done all we could to avert the storm that's now coming on. We have petitioned, we have demonstrated, we have supplicated, we have prostrated ourselves before the throne and implored this interposition to arrest the tyrannical hand of the ministry and parliament. But our petitions have been slighted. Our remonstrances are producing nothing but additional violence and insult. Our supplications have been disregarded. We've been spurned with contempt from the foot of the throne. In vain after all these things may we indulge in the fond hope of peace and reconciliation. Gentlemen, sir, there's no longer hope. If we wish to be free, if we mean to preserve inviolate those inestimable privileges for which we've been so long contending, brethren, sir, if we mean not to basely abandon the struggle for which we've been so long engaged and which we've pledged ourselves never to abandon till the glorious object of our contest shall be obtained, brethren, sir, we must fight. I repeat it, sir, we must fight. A call to arms and to the God of hosts is all is left us. And they tell us, sir, that we are weak, unable to cope with so formidable an adversary. But I ask, when shall we be stronger? Shall it be the next year or the next week? When we shall be totally disarmed and the British guard shall be stationed upon every house? Gentlemen, sir, we are not weak. We are not weak if we make proper use of the means which the God of nature has placed in our power. 3 millions of people armed in the holy cause of liberty are invincible by any means which our enemy might send against us. Besides, sir, we are not alone. There is a God who presides over the destinies of all nations, a just God, and he shall raise up friends to fight our battles for us. And besides, sir, the war is not for the strong alone, but it's for the vigilant, the brave, the active. Besides, sir, we have no election. If you are base enough to desire for it, it's now too late to retire from the contest. There's no retreat, but in chains and submission, our chains are forged, and their clanking may be heard in the hills of Boston. There's no retreat. The war is inevitable. Let it come. I repeat it, sir. Let it come. It's in vain to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there's no peace. There is no peace. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it that gentlemen, what is it that men wish for? What is it that they wish they have? Is life so dear, a peace so sweet, as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? I forbid it, sir. And for me, I know not what course my friends, my brethren might take. I know not. But as for me, God gave me this gift. I will not waste it. So it's either you give me liberty or you give me death.